If you're still using ChatGPT to write your books, make sure to watch this video because the chances are you could be making some huge mistakes that are ruining your chances of KDP success. So why is this video important? Well, in case you didn't know, going into 2024, Amazon and loads of big sellers have massively tightened their restrictions on AI-produced content. Amazon have already implemented filters like this button, which requests you to specify how much AI content you've used in your books. So this is just the surface. The real problem is the extremely advanced Amazon algorithms that they have to detect AI content in the background. So if you're not careful, not only do you risk losing your books, but also losing your account and therefore your entire business. And this is just one of the many risks of ChatGPT that I will cover in this video. Now you might be thinking, yeah, I know I shouldn't write everything word for word from an AI. I'll just put it through an AI detector or a proofreader. But the problem with that approach is that everybody else is doing that. And as a result, you're still violating one of the most important rules of publishing a book on Amazon. But before we dive into that, why should you even be listening to me? Well, since creating my Amazon KDP account in 2019, I've created over 900 books and made over £140,000 of book royalties. So it's fair to say I know a few things when it comes to publishing books on Amazon and making money from it. So in this video, we'll go through the worst mistakes you can make when using AI to produce your books, how to avoid these mistakes and still keep using AI as a valuable tool in your arsenal. And finally, I'll show you a new way of using ChatGPT that I've been using to write successful books faster than ever before, and more importantly, with higher quality than ever before. So back to what I was saying earlier. One of the most common pieces of advice that YouTube gurus would give to people using AI content is to just run it through an AI detection software or a proofreader like Quillbot. The problem with that is that the quality often sucks. And even worse, sometimes the writing doesn't even make sense when you're trying to read it out loud. And with the amount of time you spend proofreading the already proofread content, you may as well just do it yourself anyway. The other big problem is a more fundamental but important one, and that's that you end up sounding like everybody else. And that leads me to the first real mistake that most publishers make when using ChatGPT to write their books. Quite simply, that mistake is they're not producing good content. Now here's the thing, the secret to writing successful books hasn't changed and still will never change even with the introduction of AI. You need to be producing books that people actually want to read. But that in itself is one of the biggest weaknesses of AI. While it's figured out how to mimic the work of humans, it hasn't figured out how to use those techniques to capture interest and attention in long-form content like books. And that is where you come in. You can absolutely still use AI to write your books faster, but here's the key. You want AI to help you think and write faster, but not to do all of the thinking and writing completely for you. And with that in mind, there are two specific areas you do not want to replace yourself with AI. The first one is providing unique insights, and the second is you having your own voice in the writing. The reason people digest so many pieces of content from so many different people is because each person is unique. Your favorite authors all have their own unique ways of writing and also their own points of view. The same goes for YouTubers, actors, and people you just generally meet every single day. So how do we do this with ChatGPT? Firstly, you want to give it a niche, topic, and a target audience. You then want it to tell you to brainstorm some titles. Once it's done that, it then needs to fine-tune these titles. You then want to get it to write an outline based on the topic, title, and target audience. You then want to get it to fill in supporting points. And then finally, after you're done writing, you can even get it to optimize your description for SEO. So now we have a way to quickly create high content quality ideas without sounding like a corny robot. By the way, if you're an Amazon KDP publisher or you're brand new to Amazon KDP and you want to start making money online through self-publishing, I have a link below this video to my free KDP bootcamp course taking you step by step how you can make your first £1,000 with all the strategies that I use to scale my KDP to a six-figure online business in just 3 years. Anyway, back to the video. Now, in some cases, you're not always trying to produce super high quality content. Maybe you just want to put together a journal, a coloring book, or any kind of low or medium content book. But even if that is the case, you still want to make sure that you're taking precautions when it comes to AI. Or at the very least, protect yourself from losing your account to platforms like Amazon. You see, Amazon, as I've already mentioned, can be extremely strict when it comes to AI produced content. I even know somebody who DM'd me recently to say that they've had their Amazon account closed because they breached copyright because they used AI all over their books in their written text and also the images on their book, and they hadn't specified it to Amazon. So as you can see, no one is safe from Big Jeff. The reality is, if you want to build a thriving writing business, whether that's on Amazon or anywhere else, you need to make sure you're protecting yourself and following the rules. And it's not just a matter of protecting yourself. There are lots of business advantages to making your products unique. Again, at the end of the day, one of the most important factors about whether you're going to be successful or not is if people actually like your content. So if you absolutely have to write your content with AI, what are some ways that you can get around it and not get yourself in trouble? Again, Again, the first and most obvious way of doing this is running your AI generated content through some sort of AI checker like Quillbot or Grammarly. But like I mentioned earlier, it's very rare that this is going to be good enough for your books to actually do well. Now, one of the main downsides to this strategy is that even though you save time writing the book, the time that you spend having to proofread and double check everything means you may as well just do it yourself anyway. But one way you can avoid doing this is giving ChatGPT extremely detailed instructions for what you want it to do for you. But obviously, the main problem here is that we have to put in so much information every single time we want to produce a new piece of content, which again is time consuming. And even then, ChatGPT doesn't always follow the rules that you give it, which is even more of a headache. And that brings me to the final strategy in this video, which basically addresses all of the problems we talked about earlier. And when used correctly, this is an absolute game changer for anyone who's writing content online, whether it's books, scripts, journals, whatever you want. This is a game changer. Now, to be honest, I was seriously considering whether or not I include this in a video because it is that powerful. But I decided I want to help as many people with KDP, so I thought I would do it. So the strategy that I'm talking about is using custom GPTs. I know you're probably thinking, what the f is a custom GPT? So OpenAI, the parent company of ChatGPT, recently released a new feature in ChatGPT that allows you to essentially design your own customized versions of ChatGPT. Now, you do need a pro plan on OpenAI to do this, but I'm assuming most of you watching this video have already got that. Now, let's be honest, if you're still using ChatGPT 3.5, what are you doing with your life? And what makes this insanely powerful is that you have two ways of training your personal GPT. And the first way is that you can directly talk to it and tell it exactly how you want it to work. Before, if you wanted to train ChatGPT to act a certain way, you had to learn how to operate the complicated OpenAI API platform, which often required users to know how to code in order to use it effectively. But now you can literally just talk to your custom GPT without having to have any of this coding experience. And the best part, once you train it to act in a certain way, it will do that forever. Now, there's also a second way that you can program your custom GPT, and that is you can actually upload entire documents as data sets to basically educate your GPT. Before, it was basically impossible to give super detailed instructions to ChatGPT because there was a limit on the message length that you could enter. But now you can literally upload entire PDFs or even spreadsheets with thousands of words and data points. So what does this mean for you? Well, if you give your custom GPT enough info, you can basically train it to be an expert on whatever you want. So if you're writing about a specific niche or you want to write in a specific voice, all you have to do is tell your custom GPT all the specific information that it needs. And with that, you essentially have your very own personal ghostwriter that's going to produce content 100 times faster than you could ever do. Now, despite having all said this, I still massively recommend you proofread your own work still, because you can never be 100% sure it's going to be exactly what you need it to be. But at least now you can start producing content that is not only not written by you, is a little bit more unique than just the basic ChatGPT bot. So now you know how you can ethically create extremely high quality content for Amazon KDP, but I will still emphasize this. It is very important you still take precautions to make sure your content is unique. These tools are incredibly helpful in saving you time, but at the end of the day, we're trying to build real businesses here, and our responsibility is always to ensure we're producing high quality products for our customers. So I hope you found this video useful. As I've said, if you want a step-by-step process of how you can make your first £1,000 self-publishing on Amazon KDP, check the link to KDP Bootcamp in the description down below. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.